The scramble for Africa was a period of intense colonization and exploitation of the African continent by European powers in the late 19th century. The causes of the scramble were many and complex, including economic, political, and social factors that came together to create a perfect storm of imperialist expansion. One of the primary drivers of the scramble was the desire for resources and markets. As European economies grew and industrialized, they needed access to new sources of raw materials, such as rubber, copper, and gold, which were abundant in Africa. European companies also saw the potential for new markets for their manufactured goods, as Africa's population was growing rapidly and had a significant need for consumer goods. Another important factor was the rise of nationalism and competition among European powers. The idea of national prestige and the desire to establish colonial empires became popular in Europe, leading to intense competition for territories in Africa. This competition was further fueled by the Berlin Conference of 1884–85, where European powers met to establish the rules for the partition of Africa. There were also political and military factors at play. European powers believed that control of African territories would provide strategic advantages in terms of military and naval bases. They also sought to establish control over important waterways, such as the Suez Canal, which provided a crucial link between Europe and Asia. Finally, there were social and cultural factors that contributed to the scramble for Africa. Many Europeans believed in the concept of civilizing missions, or the idea that they had a duty to bring Western civilization and Christianity to the uncivilized peoples of Africa. This justification for colonization was used to justify the often brutal and exploitative treatment of African peoples by European powers. In conclusion, the scramble for Africa was driven by a complex web of economic, political, social, and cultural factors. European powers sought to exploit Africa's vast resources, establish new markets, and gain strategic advantages, while also promoting the idea of civilizing missions to justify their colonization of the continent. The legacy of the scramble is still felt today, as many African nations continue to struggle with the effects of colonization and exploitation by European powers.